I had a few pieces of advice. Can't get this thing to stay. It won't stay still. It's pissing me off. Oh. I had a few pieces of advice. It started out as one big piece of advice. It was all just one thing of an advice. And I broke it. Now it's all these pieces of broken pieces of advice. They're not worth anything now. It was like one grand plan of this piece of wonderful advice, you know. I don't remember what it was, because if I did, it wouldn't be broken up. So I have all these shattered pieces of advice. It says, like, do yourself some good in the world and cook an egg. Cook an egg. It's like, alright, I could do that. I could handle that. And there's these pieces of advice. They're more of the useless stuff, that broken advice stuff that's just hanging around everywhere, all on the floor. I'm like, So I put my boots on so I don't go walking around and get my foot cut up and all this crap advice. There's the type that says to not do stuff you usually typically do, though, because I realized I met some souls out there. They're pretty cool, actually. It gave me a little bit of some hope in the world again. I had all this hope come up in my life. I'm like, what? I didn't even know what it was at first. What is this? What the hell is that? Is that hope? That's hope? Hope and goodness. So you're like seeing a mirage at first. It comes walking in. Says that's not hope at all. That's disparity. That's delusion and illusion. No, it was bona fide, genuine hope. There's some alright people out there every once in a while, you know. You go swimming far enough in a swamp and you'll hit yourself against a rock at some point, you know. You gotta count and make good of all those rocks when you're swimming in a swamp. Every rock you clunk up against. So, I know you're just chomping at the bits to hear about it. You're really just anticipated. What are those other pieces of advice that you have to actually put socks and shoes on and wear your socks and shoes all the time? Because there's so many pieces to pick up, you're bound to leave a few of those crappy pieces of advice left around so you don't get bloody feet bleeding with bloody foot trail everywhere and all that kind of thing, you know. That's bad. That piece of advice then would be get a napkin and wash the blood off your foot. Or you ride around in a little rascal so your feet don't have to touch the ground. Alright. I'll stop teasing you for a few. This is a big piece of advice to myself and what not to do. Other people's don't stave people. It's very important. Something I cannot recommend enough. Don't go around staving people. Stop staving people constantly. One of the worst things you could do, and when you repeat doing it, because you just automatically assume you have enough bad scenarios occur in your life that you're going to get nothing more, you know, than get reprimanded for your own good intent and everything. So you're just going to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to stave. I'm going to stave off the situation. It's basically akin to being a human rhinoceros. But people can't tell you're like a rhinoceros at first, so they come up. People start talking and everything, and you get bored out of your mind because you're just like, what does this person want? What do they want to use? What are they trying to get off of me or whatever, you know? How are they trying to, you know, puncture me as an inflatable swan and take all the air out of my being? So instead, if you see people coming up to you, you start charging at them. Make sure they want to run to the nearest exit, and then you know you're safe. You have that security that you built up, and it's called staving. So I stepped on a piece of broken advice and ended up cutting my foot, and I was like, Jesus, this is not fun. Pull that out, you know. Go look at that sharp thing or whatever. It's like, what the hell is this, man? It's got blood all over it and everything. So that's it. I had that really wonderful one piece of advice. It was all held together. It was life-changing. And so you're just like, this is one of those damn bad pieces of little advice. Just don't go around staving people constantly. Like, alright. And the next time I want out, try to be good-hearted to people. And it all is a horrible situation. All went to hell all over again. And then the next time I knew to just, anytime I had a good piece of advice and I broke it, just immaculately clean up all those pieces of bad advice everywhere, because they don't do anything at all. You know? They have this harmonica hanging around here for forever, and it's crap. It sucks. It's not good. It's bad, and it just sits there for forever, and it takes up space. It's this harmonica. It's called Swan harmonica. And I saw that show where that Survivor guy, he took his harmonica and he turned it into like a fish hook so he could get fish if he was stranded on an island. But this thing just sits here on this stool, and it can't even be used for something like that. And playing it is no good. I'm not even going to play it for you. And I know you're chomping at the bits and anticipating too. You just cannot wait. The tension is so tight that if you cut it, it could probably slap you in the head and knock you past the moon. And you might arrive to back from where I came from, and I've been trying to get back to. But I have this thing, and I'm going to take it at some point, and you don't know where I'm going to do it. I'm not going to say either, because I don't want any agricultural legality held up against me or whatever. I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to huck it, because it's not bad every once in a while to take things. I'll just pretend that this thing was special to me in my life at one point, but it's not. There's no special story to it at all. It's a sucky harmonica. Somebody had it in for me enough to give me a harmonica that was absolute garbage, and it's been there, and I don't even know why. And I'm going to take it, and I'm going to huck it. And finally, I built up again something that I would call a solid, good piece of advice. Go take harmonica or anything in your life that's sitting anywhere near you and you don't ever use. Go take it and huck it somewhere.